It's all about the price. For example, right, when we say that, a house facing a T-junction cannot be sold. And then when we adjust the price, suddenly the T-junction disappear. Hello everyone and welcome back to Connecting the Dots, where we unravel the complexities of real estate in Malaysia. And I'm your host, my name is Joanne, and today we are going to dive into a very interesting topic, which is the Lelong market. And we have our very own Lelongboy with us today, Gordan Wong. He is the head of auction
properties in our company, Reapfield Properties. And we are very privileged to invite him as our first ever external guest in our show today. And I'm sure that you will find all his insights really valuable. And we hope that you also benefit from today's episode. So welcome, Gordan.
Hi, Joanne. So thanks, Joanne and the team for inviting me to this podcast.
Yes.
It was really excited my first time.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's do it.
Yes, let's do it. Okay, if you notice, right, I have a red eye on my right eye. But it's okay. The show must carry on. Maybe, Gordan, you can just share a little bit about your background. How come you end up in Lelong Properties market?
Okay. So basically, why I'm using a Lelongboy name is because I feel I'm still young.
Okay. Yeah.
Below 30s. Okay. That's how I started this journey. Is like I was in my degree. So I started my degree as a real estate management. So I'm in the property line already. Then after graduation, right, I'm just thinking like, hey, where should I go?
Yeah.
I does not go to valuation because my internship was valuation. I feel a bit easy.
Yeah.
The job tasks are easy. So I'm deciding sub-sale project or auction.
Oh, so at a very young age, you already took real estate as your degree.
Yes.
And what inspired you to take this degree?
I'll think I'm a money guy lah.
Okay.
So I was comparing with another degree.
Yeah.
Then I found real estate, the license is getting easier and faster.
Okay.
And monies are more easier. Looks like.
Right. So was there anybody that inspired you to go into real estate? Or, I mean, you were a young guy, a teenager. There
Yep.
must be someone or somewhere that you learn about.
No,
real
actually,
estate.
my parents are not doing this. And I don't have any relatives doing so.
Okay.
So one day I was went to a education fair.
Yeah.
And a guy talked about real estate. Then I
Okay.
just listened and then I back to compare it.
Yeah.
I compare with an aircraft engineer.
Okay. Wow. Big difference.
Yeah, so I'm like, aircraft engineer, you have to work shift.
Yes.
And then it's very controlled,
Yeah.
things like that. And license will be getting longer, 8-9 years like that. So I compare back to real estate, it's really fast, 4-5 years,
Yeah.
and then can make money I think quicker.
Yes. Good life.
Yes.
But when you graduated, did you go into Lelong market straight away, or you were doing sub-sale first? Or?
Okay, so during my studies, right, I actually did join project already.
Okay.
But I know that project is not my thing.
Okay.
Because you need to have very good persuasive skills. I believe I don't have because
Okay.
I can't sell something that you cannot see.
Okay.
Okay, that's my thing. So comparing sub-sale and auction, right? Sub-sale that time I think is still very many people doing. So I'm diversing myself into auction market is because I think, these agents, right? These
Yeah.
auction agents are already elder, aging, and then the industry aging also.
Oh.
So it's if a young guy I come in, maybe
Yeah.
have some chance lah.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
That's when I joined. It's about 5 years, 6 years ago.
Was there anybody that introduced you to this market, or how did you stumble upon it?
I saw a Facebook post. Then I went to the company. It's
Okay.
at Klang. And
So the
then,
company only does auction properties.
they do something else like
Okay.
bulk purchase.
Okay.
And then I was just want to focus at the Lelong part.
Oh.
So
Okay.
with a few years ago, I joined two companies.
Yeah.
Then now it's with Reapfield.
Right. Okay. So all this while you have been in the auction, especially the auction market, for 6 years already?
Yes.
6 years already, and it's so niche because. But do you also sell other types of products, or you really 100% focusing on auction?
Majorly 95 to 99% is auction lah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you really know the in and out, all the different stories that we don't hear in the market. So you know everything lah.
Can say so, yes. Please try me.
Interesting. Okay, let's Gordan. Maybe for the benefit of the listeners, right? Maybe you can just educate us lah. Like, what is the meaning of Lelong property? You know, why suddenly a property can be auctioned off?
Okay.
Yeah.
So when we talk about auction, people always think it's bad thing.
Correct.
But I think during the pandemic timing,
Yeah.
right? So actually a lot of things has been changed.
Okay.
Also the mindset of the buyers.
Okay.
Nowadays, buyers are always looking at cheaper property.
Yeah.
You want value buy.
Yes.
But still a percentage of people, they're afraid of auction. So when it comes to auction, right, it's actually about bank lelong, what we say. So nowadays the auction is very different. So how does property come into auction is like when you start not paying the bank,
Yep.
like continuously 3 months or 4 months.
3 months is the minimum lah, is it?
Yes.
Okay.
So then the bank will start taking action,
Okay.
like going to the valuer to take a report, ask the lawyer to prepare the documents, and send a letter to you.
Okay.
Then you know that, hey, my house is starting on the lelong part already.
So normally, right, when if let's say I didn't pay my mortgage for 3 months, and then I get my first letter.
Yes.
So from the first letter until my property is really in the Lelong market, normally takes how long?
I think about 2 months or 3 months
Oh,
only. Very, very,
very
fast.
fast.
Yes. So because they
Wow.
have served you a first notice, second notice, then they start already.
Oh, they don't need your consent one, right?
No.
Straight away they can just
Yes.
suddenly your listing is like there already.
And of course, a lot of people like ignorance. So when they receive this kind of message, right, they will just ignore it.
Yeah.
And then until really on the market,
Yes.
then they start to afraid, start to take aware of this, right? Then sometimes it's too late.
Yeah.
But of course, this kind of case still can save. But you have already incurred some costs inside
Yes.
already.
So is it true that Lelong properties are in terms of volume, it's more after pandemic, or it's do you see that pandemic make a difference in the listings of auction properties?
Yes, the pandemic makes our business better.
Wow.
Okay, so last time we know that there's a MCO, then we have moratorium.
Yes.
So moratorium does help owners
Delay
to
lah.
have some grace period.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so but whoever already 3 months not paying the bank,
Yeah.
right, it still continues to go auction. So for those who already know they are going to suffer, but they still paying,
Yeah.
and they ask the bank first, so they are the one who get safe.
Okay. So actually, if you really cannot afford, you should immediately apply for moratorium at that time lah.
Yes.
You shouldn't be waiting and get notice.
Actually, as now, right, you still have to talk with the bank.
You
Even though
can,
you
right?
cannot, you can, actually, you can.
Ah.
But a lot of people does not know.
Right.
That's why it comes into a worse scenario.
Okay.
So like sometimes we know that we say we have a minimum payment. Like credit card, we have a
Yes,
minimum
yes.
payment, right? But
Correct.
in housing, that actually no.
Okay.
So if you are paying 2,000 per month,
Yeah.
you have to fully pay.
Correct.
If you are paying just 1,000, your house is still good along.
Yes.
That's
so,
the thing.
but you can always actually negotiate with your banker.
Yes, please.
And normally they rather that you negotiate than they want to lelong off your property, right?
yes.
Ah, okay. So tell us a little bit about, like, when you just now you mentioned the first thing you said, that when we talk about lelong, people always think that it's a bad thing.
Yep.
And why? Why does the public have that kind of perception or picture that, lelong is a bad thing?
I think it's because of the properties that they went to see before.
Yeah.
I think it's like 10 years or 20 years ago,
Okay.
which I haven't started yet.
Okay.
But we know that those kind of properties are landed.
Yes.
And it could be like really no people want to buy those kind of abandoned situation, right? So people will feel like it's a really bad properties.
Okay.
But of course, some of the people will take it like a gem.
Yeah. Correct.
So they bought it, they invest, they renovate, and then they resell.
Yeah.
A lot of people are doing so.
Yes.
Okay. Of course, nowadays still got.
Yeah.
And nowadays, right, the properties are different already. Looks very, very different, which
Yeah.
is because nowadays the properties get auctioned is brand new properties. So it's like they just get the keys,
Yes.
or even the owner does not get the key. Already repeat the project, but it get into auction already.
Actually, to think about it, more and more brand new properties are being auctioned off. What is the root cause? Is it because, at one time, bulk purchase is very, common, and then they buy, what they always say, buy two, free one, something like that.
Yes.
Do you think it's really because of that?
Yes,
That-
majorly we see is that because some of the properties in auction, right,
Yeah.
is majorly will come from a same condo.
Oh.
So you will know that, oh, this is a compressed condo.
Compressed loan, yeah.
Yes. So A condo can be have a lot.
Yeah.
For example, I can't say the name like
Yeah, of
at
course.
Jalan Ampang.
Yeah.
Okay, so there comes about 100 units for Lelong,
Oh
just
my
in the same condo,
gosh.
and of course the bank won't just drop it immediately.
Okay.
Like all in once. So they will also see other banks how performance is that, and then they only start to drop the unit in their bank because they always know
Okay.
that who is in the default list already.
Yeah.
But they won't immediately just get you into the auction.
Right. So actually, the banks are the one that decide when to auction off,
Of
even though the defaulters already been there for more than 5 months, 6 months.
Because we have to think like a businessman, like
Yeah.
bank lah. So if let's say in his hand got 30 properties in auction
Yeah.
list already, so if he immediately put 30 properties in the market,
Yes.
so it will be like, why so many there? So I don't want to buy
Yeah,
already.
yeah.
So they always like 5 units first, and then see what's the response are. Then they only continue to get on the market.
This is the condo. What about landed?
Okay, so talking about landed, actually the lists are not much more compared to high rises. So, but what I see is about 300 listing on my hand, okay, is available. So, including having the auction date
Yeah.
and also the pending one. So, landed, if in a more matured area,
Yeah.
there will be very less.
Ah,
And people will like buy at the first or second auction already. So, it does not need to wait a long time.
yeah. But does the bank, let's say for example, mature neighborhood, I think Taman Desa is a very mature neighborhood. If let's say today the bank has 5 Lelong properties, for
Okay.
example, lah,
Okay.
do you think the bank will also use the strategy where they hold back and then just drop one
Not
off
really.
first? Not really,
Not
right?
really.
Yeah.
Because actually, we say landed at a matured area, it very less to have auction.
lor.
And
Yeah.
as what I see in OUG,
Yeah.
so there are few.
Yes.
Sometimes it comes out, but like once a year or twice a year.
Oh.
But then easily it get cut off.
Yeah.
So subsale agent go and deal with the owner, things like that. So it
Yes.
just call already, cancel.
Oh, they can do that.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
what do you mean by call off? Means the owner themselves sell it by themselves, even though the property is already in the auction market.
Yes.
Before the bidding date.
Yes.
How does that look like? Like
Okay, so actually, people thought that when a property go into auction, right, the owner already bankrupt.
yeah.
It's not actually like that.
Ah.
So, if you are still the owner, you still have the rights on the house.
Yeah,
Just
correct.
like you are not paying the installment,
Yes.
the bank put you on the Lelong side. But that does not mean the bank put you into a bankruptcy status. It's no point,
Yeah.
right? If you're bankrupt already, in the subsidy you can't do anything. Okay, so when there's still a chance
Okay.
for the owner to save the house,
Okay.
it depends on how she want to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, or he willingness to do it
Yeah,
or
yeah,
not.
yeah,
So
yeah.
some owner is just ignorance,
Yeah.
but some of the owner they are at the same time still finding for buyers on the subsale market. So if let's say some agents they does not want to transact it at auction, so
Yeah.
they will find a way to transact at subsale.
Oh. Can a buyer actually research whether this property is on auction at the same time it's also on subsale market? Can lah. Actually, if I'm a buyer today, I want to, let's say, get the best deal lah. But I don't want to go the auction route because it's already in the market for subsale. I'm afraid that another buyer will come in, right? So what kind of research I need to do? Or where can I search whether this property is on auction?
Okay, we have a few websites to search that
Okay.
if the property is on auction or not. Of course, you can just ask me because
Yeah, of course.
daily I check the listing, I know.
Yeah.
So sometimes, right, when we do a property research, always it comes back to the pricing.
Yep.
So if in auction is about 1 million
Yes.
and the subsidy is 1.3,
Yeah.
so I believe you know how to do a decision.
Yes, correct.
Okay. So not I'm teaching lah. So
Yeah.
okay, so you know if that unit is on market,
Yeah.
you can go and have a look
Yeah.
and then maybe you buy at auction.
But what if the property is sold before auction date in the subsale market?
Likely hard sometime because as you know the price already.
Yeah, it's quite high.
Because
Yes.
sometimes owners still have a hope to sell the property at a market price.
Yes.
That's the thing. So I
Okay.
know some properties that
Yeah,
can
yeah,
go
yeah.
and view first lah.
Oh, I see. And for example, because you said that you know all the auction properties on the market, how early would we know when would be the bidding date? Like normally, how early is it? Is it like months, 3 months before you know that this property is will be auctioned, but the date has not been set?
Basically, when we know that the date already has been set.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
If the date has not been set, actually you won't know lah.
Yes, unless it's a pending listing.
What does that mean?
Okay, pending listing mean that the auction has already passed, but there's
Okay.
no bidder for the date.
Yeah.
So
Right.
now
Okay.
it's on the way to the next auction, no? So this is what we call pending.
Pending. And then because normally pending, what is the percentage they will drop the reserve price? If let's say this property is not sold successfully on the first auction, then they will become pending. What is the percentage that the reserve price will drop to for the next auction?
Okay, basically, last time the bank just dropped 10%. Okay, each time.
Yeah.
So without question, ask one. So
Standard lah. It's a standard.
It's-
Okay.
You can't do it as sub-sale lah, of course.
Okay, yes.
So that's why we are happy to sell auction because
Yeah,
it's
I
very
wish
easy.
I wish I can tell my seller, hey, this month cannot sell, right? Next month drop 10%. Next month
Yes.
drop 10%.
Correct. So nowadays, auction market is getting more fun,
Okay.
and because the bank is willing to drop more.
Oh.
For what we say is like last time basically all bank dropped 10%,
Yeah.
but nowadays got bank drop like 15%.
Wow.
Some even 20% for the first
Wow.
auction. So imagine.
Would you know how many percent they will drop, or you will only know when they set the auction date?
Yes.
Okay.
Imagine a property like 600,000.
Yeah.
So next month,
Yeah.
20% drop will be 480.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So that's really fun. Sometimes we are just waiting, this bank, but we know which bank will drop the price like that.
you already know lah.
Yeah,
basically all
but
this
we don't know
insider
which
news.
property they will drop like that.
So you will only know the moment that they put an auction date.
Yes, correct. Correct.
Okay. So all these that we are talking about are bank lelong, basically. Is it the same as court lelong?
Okay. A bit different.
Okay.
Okay. So when we talk about this lelong, there are two terms.
Okay.
One is called laka, another is called non-laka.
Okay.
LACA and non-LACA.
LACA,
Okay.
okay.
So there are differences between these two. So these two are that to determine where the auction will be.
Okay.
So laka cases will be at auction house.
What does LACA stands for?
Loan agreement come assignment.
So it's loan agreement come assignment. Strata? Or does it
Non-laka.
matter?
No.
It
That's
doesn't
not
matter, it's
matter.
strata individual.
Okay, so here's come the difference. So when we say laka cases happen at auction house,
Yeah.
so these kind of cases, the title majorly haven't perfected.
Okay, got it.
So it could be like still master title.
Yes.
It could be like title already been issued, but haven't perfected.
Understand.
So non-laka cases happen at high court,
Yeah.
but title has been fully perfected.
Okay, so it's just a matter of the perfection of the title, of differentiating where the auction is still going to take place.
Yes.
But now we're talking about online auction, right? So does online applies to both private auction house and court?
Yes.
Ah.
Okay, after
Okay.
pandemic, right?
Yeah.
Before pandemic, actually the government very want to make it happen for the
Okay.
online auction because there are some crocodiles, as you heard, right,
Yes,
in the
yes,
high
yes,
court.
yes.
So nowadays, the MCO comes in at the right time actually. So the e-lelong work very well.
Wow.
And the online was successful.
Okay.
So since the MCO, right, every high court cases goes into online already.
Right.
So we as a public, we can go to the website and
Yeah.
see the listing and
Okay.
join the bidding. But of course, with the agent will be better.
Of course.
So when it comes to online, actually nothing different. So it's still laka and non-laka.
When you said that whenever actually auction properties are open for public can easily access to it. But why do you just now mention that it's better to go with an agent to accompany you and guide you? How does an agent add value to a buyer that wants to buy a Lelong property?
Okay, most importantly is like we agents, sometimes we already know what is the developer's pattern.
Okay.
You know, when you want to sell a property, of course, you find a specialist in the condo.
Sure.
You know that this condo will have any issue,
Yeah.
developer bankrupt or not, things like that. So we already done a lot of due diligence over the past few years.
Okay.
So when it comes to a condo that we have sell before, of course,
Yeah.
we can easily check out all the due diligence part.
Yeah.
So like a new buyer coming
Yes.
into the market, so maybe they does not know what is the status of the developer,
Okay.
what to check for the auction unit,
Yeah.
and maybe they can read some articles
Yes, yes,
online.
yes,
They can
online,
read
yeah.
it. But of course, when you have a hand-on experienced guy
Yeah.
to assist you
Yeah.
without charges, why
Yeah.
not?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And also, I think you also would accompany the buyer to go to the condo, right? If let's say the buyer wants to view the condo first,
Yes.
right? And what kind of due diligence matter? Like, what kind of facts should a buyer have before they go for a bidding?
Okay, so we talking about two kind of properties. Like
Okay.
one is landed,
Yeah.
another is high rise. So talking about landed is we always will have the address.
Okay.
So
Full
buy-
address, right? Even
yes,
the number. Okay.
yes, full address. So buyer can with the address
Yeah.
and go and see the house.
Correct.
So when you look at the outside external, so you will see if there are people staying, things like that.
Ah.
So if you are okay with people staying, then we will do a next due diligence, which checking the title.
If let's say people staying there, can I go and ring the bell and like, hey, your property is on Lelong now, you know? Do you think the person actually knows it? They should know, right?
Of course they know, because there will be a notice sent to them.
Yeah.
But-
But you say they can ignore it.
Yeah, they always do.
Have you encountered where they ignore the notice and then the buyer successfully bought it or during auction and they still don't know that the house is Lelong?
Okay, when it comes to the soul of the auction house, right?
Yeah.
Actually, the owner won't know immediately
Oh.
because the bank will take some time to inform
Okay.
them. So my job is that after successful bid,
Yeah.
I get the stamping contract, right? I'll just
Uh-huh.
go to the house already and
Wow.
I inform the owner first.
Wow.
Hey, we are really successful bid this,
Okay.
and then we have some negotiation on how long he will just move out from the house.
I see.
So you have to inform them earlier,
Yeah.
rather than after you have done all the things right, perfection, then only
Yeah.
you ask him to move out.
Yeah, it's
so
very
it takes longer
difficult.
time.
Right. So this
Yeah.
is like the value add services that you provide
Yes.
to the buyers.
So if
lah.
let's say a buyer is a shy person, does
Yeah.
not want to speak to others, then we are the one.
I mean, we are also scared because I don't know this person. I don't know what the person do and things like that.
yeah, but we
Oh.
have been comfort with doing so lah.
I see. No violence. No like take parang out.
Oh no lah. So far we didn't face this kind of thing.
I see. Okay. What about condo? Okay. How do due diligence?
Okay, so when it comes to a condo, more things will be need to check.
Okay.
So of course we have to check the outstanding.
Yep.
That's the most important part, because part of the outstanding banks will cover.
Outstanding maintenance fees lah.
Correct, maintenance fee. Some banks does not cover, some bank does cover. Some bank covers up to a limit.
Okay.
So every time we have to refer back to the POS.
Okay.
So POS is a proclamation of sale, is our document of auction lah.
Yeah.
So then also we have to check on the background of developer.
Okay.
So is it a healthy developer, which
Okay.
already still in progress in developing,
Yeah.
or already bankrupt,
Yeah.
or they are a property that is already having a liquidator.
Okay, but you're talking about the history of the status of the developer. Why is that important? Because sometimes the property is a matured condo. Let's say, for example, they already formed their own JMC. Title is already perfected. So why does the developer background still important?
Okay, if the title has been perfected,
Yeah.
then we go to a high court.
Yes.
So this kind of case we does not need to do a deep research like that.
Ah.
So we are talking about the
okay.
cases like in Laka.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, okay, when you talk about this point, right? So, when it is at High Court,
Yeah.
a non-Laka case, we just do a title search that we do.
Enough already.
Enough already.
Oh.
But of course, the outstanding you have to check.
Yeah.
Okay.
That one can get from management lah.
Yes.
Okay.
But in a Laka case, okay, because non-Laka case, right, the final authority is the land office and the High Court.
Correct.
So, as long as the title has not been caveated,
Yep.
so it's all safe. So we just go in and buy. But if let's say it comes into a Laka case, the final decision is a developer.
I see.
So they give consent on whether this is a booming lot or not,
Oh.
whether they agree for direct transfer or not.
Okay.
So they is the final boss lah, you say.
Yeah.
So to give a green light for this purchasing. So it's important to check.
So normally, if let's say title has not been perfected, means stamp duty has not been paid lah. Am I right? And then you need the consent from the developer to direct transfer to the new successful bidder. And do they say no? I mean, like, it's
Yes.
oh, they can.
Yes, they do. Like some branded developers,
Okay.
I can't say the name.
Yeah,
So
sure.
they does not agree for direct transfer.
Means what? Means the current owner still have to pay stamp duty first.
Nope. The current owner does not have to do any liabilities.
Okay.
Okay, let's say the developer is not agree for direct transfer.
Yep.
So we know the title has been issued.
Okay.
Okay. So we, as a new buyer, we have
Yes.
to pay for them also.
Oh.
So meaning that developer will transfer to the ex-owner,
Correct.
then ex-owner transfer to a new buyer.
That's right. So,
So
it's 2 stamp duty lah.
two stamp duty, and then the first stamp duty according to his first S&P
Of
price,
course.
and also plus legal fee.
Yes.
So yours will be yours and plus legal fee.
So this one will be absorbed by the successful bidder lah.
Yes.
Oh.
So these kind of properties, it will drop more because of the
Okay.
extra cost.
Yes.
And these kind of cases, we highly suggest as a cash buyer to purchase it
Okay.
because we have a timeline.
Okay.
If let's say it comes to a leasehold property,
Yeah.
you know when a transfer comes in, right?
Yeah.
It takes about 6 months.
Yes,
But
correct.
auction, we just have about 3 months or 4 months time.
Regardless whether freehold, leasehold is also 3 months, right?
Yeah, correct. So because in our POS stated there's only
Yes.
90 days or 120
That's
days.
right.
So when it comes to a transfer, right, leasehold properties that will take a longer time.
Yeah.
So if one time is 6 months, 2 times is 1 year. So it's better to you purchase it cash,
Yeah.
let the procedure goes through,
Yes.
and then only you go back and borrow loan.
Oh.
That will be better.
That's refinancing already lah. In a sense, is it?
Can consider as yes.
Yeah.
If let's say you buy loan also
Mm,
can, but because we only have 90 days ma.
Correct.
So how about when it goes to 1 year? Basically, the bank will allow you for extension,
Correct.
but you have to pay a penalty.
Yes.
The penalty is like 5 to 10% per annum
Wow.
on the balance purchase price.
Okay.
So it will be a cost also.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Then what about, we talk about just now, people are also fearful of the house condition. Share a little bit your experience on your 6 years of, being an auction agent, right? Like, is it really that bad? Like, is it like the interior is all broken, the walls are hacked, paint is like torn off? Are all Lelong properties in those kind of condition? Yao Hong Chat and stuff like that, red paint here and there.
Red paint no lah.
Okay.
I didn't
Okay,
saw that
okay.
before. So as we mentioned, because nowadays the properties are very new.
Correct.
So what we sell easier are those new properties
Newer
also.
lah.
So it could be like the owner haven't get the keys.
Yeah.
So we have to get the keys from developer. Or it is like the owners have already get the key,
Yeah.
but the owner already hilang lah, we say. Okay. So then
yes.
we will ask the locksmith and open the
Okay.
door, unlock the door, right?
Oh.
So always it will be very fun when you go and unlock a unit that you have
Yes.
never seen before.
Yeah.
So always the first step we go to the refrigerator lah.
Yes.
You know about the story, right?
Yes.
So
to see whether got dead bodies inside.
yeah, but always so touch wood that we
Yeah.
haven't seen anything.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Oh.
it could be surprise. Sometimes it can be a fully furnished unit.
Ah.
It could be a ready Airbnb unit.
Right.
Because sometimes we're still able to check the history of the unit through management office. And sometimes it's a bare unit.
Yes.
Sometimes it could be a bit taut.
Yeah.
Like, because last time was a bungalow staying, foreigner staying.
Okay.
So the situation would not be nice.
Yes.
But as our investor, they always will just do a renovation, furbishing, then they will just rent it out.
Okay. So if let's say today some of our listeners are interested to start to venture into buying auction properties, whether is it own stay or for investment, what are the crucial things that they need to start to prepare before, let's say, they come to you? When they come to you, you already will tell them what to prepare lah. So what are the things that need to prepare?
Importantly is cash.
Okay.
Okay, so basically auction is very similar with sub-sale. What we have to prepare is 10% of down payment.
Okay.
That's the first thing. Only with the 10%, you are eligible to enter the bid.
Okay.
Okay, this is the first part.
And then the 10% comes in the form of what?
Cash lor. It must be
Okay,
a cash, cannot
okay.
be check. So either a bank draft or online transfer.
Okay.
Okay. So only have this, then also we have to check our loan.
Okay.
So always check your loan first before you join the bid.
Okay, when you say check your loan, meaning do you submit documents based on the property that you already aim to bid to tell them that, okay, I'm gonna buy a 600,000 property. Then you ask the bank to check, or you just generally get the banker to check how much loan you can buy. I mean, how much loan you can apply, and then you search according to that budget. How would you advise?
Okay, basically a second method will be more
Okay.
preferred because we are not having any booking yet. So
Yes.
you cannot go into the bank and submit any document.
Correct.
Ma. So usually we will use some bankers like
Okay.
outsourcers.
Yeah.
So they will know how to check your profile
Okay.
based on your document.
Yeah.
And then we will have we'll just verbally tell you that, hey, actually your loan can goes up to 600, 650. So of course you
Okay.
have to pandai, you know what price to bid until.
Okay.
But of course, when
Understand.
we're talking about loan amount,
Yes.
so of course you still have a 10%
Yes.
of the
buffer.
margin to cover up.
So if let's say, meaning that the banker tells me that I can loan 600,000, I can look for property that is 10% more than 600,000 lah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
correct.
Yeah, that's a good margin. Okay, apart from having cash, getting sort of like a green light from the banker that, okay, this is low amount. What else? What else does a bidder needs to do or prepare?
That's the two things only actually.
Okay.
So other than that, maybe he want to visit a uni
Yeah.
from the doorstep.
Yeah.
So it's really important to visit doorstep. Even people saying that, hey, auction cannot see inside, ma.
Yeah.
But why I want to see inside outside? Actually, they
Yes.
have a wrong mindset. When you see it outside, especially high rises, right? You want to know is there people staying. So you want to know the facing also. So sometimes when we see from the outside,
Yeah.
we are looking at the yard area.
Yeah.
So looking at the yard area, you know got people stay or not.
Yeah lor,
So
yeah,
can
true.
see inside also
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
So it's like because some people still very ignore, they don't like lah.
Yeah.
So that can't help. So
Okay.
when these kind of clients come in, so we cannot do anything also.
Oh.
Yeah, because they have a barrier in the first
lor,
step already.
Yeah. But you also, if let's say this client is really those that very thorough one, you need to research everything. To what extent can a buyer research until can, like what you said, for landed it's easier because you can see it, but for condo they need access. Sometimes you cannot access to the building.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's why agents come in.
Agent
lah.
comes in lah. Right. Okay.
But of course, we know which condo is easier to get in, which is not,
Yeah.
which we need to write in letter,
Yeah.
only allow.
Yeah. And how early would you know, let's say, for example, today I am very interested in this particular condo, and there is a particular facing to that direction that I want only. I want that unit particular to face, let's say, north lah.
Okay.
And but in the current listing, there is no such on the market. So how would you actually assist this buyer that specifically want that, and they just wait lah? Is it they
Only can wait.
only can wait lah?
Because we won't know,
You won't know,
when
right?
a single owner cannot pay the bank.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, and then normally, worst case scenario of the interior, like what you said about is the exterior is more important because anything interior can be solved by money. Just renovate, right? And I'm just curious that, in your experience, how bad is a bad interior that you have seen so far?
How bad? is
How
a
bad? Like,
Just recently, we have a property. Not sure you're able to show some photos or not. It's just like having a leaking. That's the nearest recently what I have seen.
okay lah, that's normal. Even subsale properties also have leaking.
Yeah, it's a landed property, like 20 years already. So it's a normal thing.
Yeah, it's a very normal thing.
Like a lot of barang inside lor.
Okay. So
So far, like the worst one I haven't seen.
because what I hear, right, people say that, wow, the worst one is like no more grill, no window, no door. It's literally like an abandoned building with no roof kind of thing.
That one actually, before auction, you also know.
You also know already, yeah.
It won't be like suddenly it with roofs, but
Yeah.
suddenly does not have roofs.
Yeah, does it happen? Because it still takes about 3 months, ma. So for example, today I know that the house looks okay. And then after successful bidding and then the whole transaction over, then the house became like, I don't know,
Okay.
really horrible.
That's a funny case happen.
Okay.
I think it's this year or last year lah.
Yeah.
So it's a lake field at Sungai Besi.
Okay.
So it's our corner house.
And it's a gated guarded area, right?
Yes, gated guarded area. So the house was really pretty.
Yeah.
Okay, and decent.
Okay.
Then first auction passed through.
Okay.
Then at the midst of first and second auction, right? So the owner goes and destroy the house.
Oh.
Really destroy the house. So we're not sure what's the mind of this owner is thinking.
Yeah.
Then of course at the news everyone know.
Okay.
Everyone's know about it. So the house has been destroyed and the door is not locked anymore. So
Okay.
people will just go and see. But when it comes to third auction, there are still people going and fight
Okay.
because of the location
Yeah.
itself. So, and it's a corner lot.
Yeah.
So actually, abandoned or property is not in a good shape, people does not mind as long as the
Correct.
price comes down.
That's right.
Sometimes we even saw some of the properties are like just structure.
Mm.
People will go and study, how much I want to renovate it.
Yes.
So they will do their own
Yes.
diligence lah.
Yes.
So it's not a problem.
Correct. I think you reminded me, one of our agent in our team mentioned this, that it's all about the price. For example, right, when we say that, a house facing a T-junction cannot be sold. And then when we adjust the price, suddenly the T-junction disappear. You know, when we said about, this house is facing west. And then when we adjust the price, suddenly west became like not a problem.
Yes.
So it's really boils
Correct.
down to pricing lah.
Correct.
Yeah. I think same thing. But what is the process like in Lelong? Is it exactly the same as sub-sale? For example, because sub-sale we will place 3% bonus deposit and then 10% SPA,
Correct.
and then balance 90% is 3 months. How is it different for
Okay, a
Lelong?
bit different from sub-sale is 10% is a must first.
Okay.
So prepare in a total 10%.
Okay.
And after successful bidding, all the things are like sub-sale.
Okay, so when you say successful bidding, means my 10% that day I said, congratulations, you successfully bidded, that money will immediately transfer on that day.
Okay, before we
does it
join the
work?
bid, we have to transfer already.
Oh.
So we have to transfer to the auction house who is
Okay.
doing the auction.
Okay.
So of course in the market there are 10 auctioners in the market.
Okay.
So
Only 10
about
so
10.
far in Klang Valley.
Yeah,
Okay.
and there are no more new licensed auctioneer coming in.
I see.
So the banks will always rotate the auctioners.
Okay.
Like we have a CIMB bank auction, for example lah.
Ah.
Okay, so today auction is with first auction house,
Okay.
and then no bidders, they will turn into second auction house in the next month.
Oh.
So they just rotate.
I
So
see.
next month we go back to the first one.
Okay.
So there are just a few parties.
Okay. And all these auction house are like, everybody also have online facility. How does the online work? Is it auction house the one that organize the online bidding, or it's a public platform where the auction house go and join in?
Auction house is the one who organize the event, like the
Okay.
auction event. So when they already announce, this property, maybe A to Z, this 10 properties, right, is in our list at
Okay.
which day. So then we as an agent, right, we will let our client know.
Okay.
So the property you want to bid is at
Yeah.
which day, with
Okay.
what time. So
Okay.
you have to prepare the 10% first.
Okay.
Like we're doing an online transfer to
Yes.
the auction house
Yes.
to register.
How early you need to register?
1 day before
One
must
day
be
before.
done.
Okay.
It could be like 2-3 days earlier you
Yeah.
register done, but
The transfer has to be done minimum
Yeah.
24 hours lah.
correct.
Okay.
Correct. 1 working days before.
Why?
So after that,
Okay.
we will start the bidding.
Okay.
So let's say it's 11.
Yeah.
So I will be on your site.
Yes.
I can come to your office
Yeah.
or your house. So we bid it together.
Okay.
Or if you are at really outstation, right?
Yeah.
So we can do it via Zoom.
Okay.
So basically, I will handle the bidding.
Okay.
So you just have to like voice instruction to me to increase or not. That's the thing
Okay.
only.
Or like to just stop and then.
Yeah,
I mean,
of course
keep
we
up
don't
lah.
have the decrease button lah.
Yeah lor.
Okay. Sometimes people will ask that, hey, can we bid below the price?
Yeah, cannot.
Sorry, we don't have.
Yes.
So always people, our bidders will start with their own designated price.
Okay.
Let's say 800,000. They say, hey, I want to start at 850.
Okay.
Then we just go until there.
Yeah.
But of course, sometimes when the bidding start, right, the emotion will comes out also.
Yeah. Very kanchong ah.
Yeah. Even now, I also will kanchong.
Yeah.
Because when there's a fighting very close, like it's just like 2,000 or 5,000 difference only.
Yeah.
But the buyer want to put it or not.
Oh.
Yeah.
What is the each calling What's the increase in amount?
It depends on the property price.
I see.
Okay, so if let's say it's about 200,000-300,000, it could be like 2,000 per bid,
Okay.
500,000, 5,000 per bid, like
Oh.
1 million above 10,000
So
per bid.
the auction house is the one that
They decide, yes.
they decide lah.
Correct.
I see.
So of course, there's two scenario. When we are the only one, we know we are the only one, right? So the
Yes.
price won't increase
Yeah.
at all. But if let's say there are two
How would you know?
bidders-
Okay. How would you know who is interested also in the same property as you?
Okay, that's an interesting
Yeah.
question. That's why we are here.
Okay.
So of course, if you are just a single individual who joined the
Yeah.
bidding, right, you won't know about this. But we agent, we have our own connection.
Yes.
So we will know after close registration.
After. Okay.
After, yeah, because sometimes people would like to ask, do you know how many bidders are joining this bid?
Yeah.
Even 1 week earlier, they will ask already. But
Oh.
actually, it's not a good timing to ask.
Okay.
Why? Because when you ask people, hey, Joanne, do you join the bid?
Oh yeah.
You won't like simply ask others people,
Correct.
hey, this property very cheap, you want to join or not?
Yes,
You
yes.
won't say so, man.
Yes.
So it's like
You keep
only-
quiet. You make sure nobody bid.
Yeah, correct. So it's only like 1 day before, after closing registration, then we will check around. Of course, with our agent's connection. So we will ask around, hey, anyone join? So then we will know, oh, there's
see.
2 bidders, 3 bidders, things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this
Wow.
the really benefit of using
Agents,
agents. Yeah. If not, you just go in and fight lah.
And
you know.
it also has to be a really, I would say, responsible agent like you lah. I mean, anybody can be an agent, but how quality is it, or how knowledgeable you are, or how different types of lubang you have, to help the buyer. Okay, the last question is, because you are giving so much valuable service to the buyer, right? Does the buyer need to pay you?
I would say sometimes depends on the bank.
Okay.
Because actually our industry is very open,
Okay.
which everyone will know.
Yeah.
But sometimes the bank really does not pay us.
Right.
So that's how we have to ask a commission from
yes,
the purchaser.
understand.
So majorly in the market practice about 1 to 2%.
Okay. I mean, like, what is the 1 to 2% when you are able to help the buyer to make the best decision, and you are the one that is going to provide all the insider news, even the background of the history of the house and whatnot. I really think that is totally worth it. In fact, probably you're underpaid. You should get 3% like subsidy agents, right? That's how what I think. So if let's say today our listeners would like to find out more about your services and really want to know so much more about it, how can they reach you?
Okay, I do have my own website,
Okay.
which is lelongboygordan.com.
All right.
So
Lelongboygordan.com.
yes,
Okay.
DAN.
Okay. Never mind. I will put it under our description.
Okay, so joining into my website,
Yeah.
actually you can see the listing,
Okay.
or else you can join our groups.
Okay.
So actually now I do have 3 WhatsApp groups,
Okay.
which very different. One is
Okay.
for commercial industrial,
Yeah.
one is for landed properties only
Yeah.
in Klang Valley, and another one is like KLCC, Mont Kiara, this kind of premium area.
Right. Okay.
So we already segmented it.
In your which is the hottest segment now?
I would say always landed,
Landed
because
lah.
landed is always demanded.
Yeah.
And I'll say
That's right.
the premium to have a landed auction in the Taman is not really always happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially mature area. Come on, mature area. We're talking about properties who are 30 to 40 years old. Most of our owners already cleared their bank loan.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
it's
correct.
quite hard to get defaulters
Unless
lah.
they just refinance the house.
Yeah. Correct.
That will
That's
be the
true.
situation come in. But most of the time, no, it won't be. Yep.
Okay, thank you so much, Gordan. That's a wrap for this episode. If you really like this episode, please, what are you waiting for? Just share this episode to all your friends. And if you want to engage us more on this topic, you can leave us a comment or send me a DM. And you can also search lelongboygordan.com, right? We are also on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. And that's about it. See you next one. Bye.
Bye.